You know, in the old days, I used to own a CrossFit gym, and we had a joke, which was, how do you know someone does CrossFit? The answer is they'll tell you. And I know that's, it's funny, but it's also true. And why I bring that up is because, I don't know if you've heard, but in 2021, all I've been about is how do I optimize this health? You've heard me talk about it all the time. And so I'm so excited to have people come and join me where I can just learn and glean and pull from their knowledge banks. And so it's with this in mind that I'm just so excited to introduce you to today's next guest, Lisa Raleigh.
Thanks, Mark. I never knew you owned a gym. Did you really?
Yeah, really. I owned a CrossFit gym. But just to give you some truth bomb, I owned a CrossFit gym and a bar at the same time. And I used to basically hurt people in the week and hurt people on the weekends. Yeah. Lisa, I'm so glad you're here. You and I have been trying to do this for quite a while, but actually, I think the timing for today is near perfect. But before I get into any of this, I always like to start this segment of the show by simply asking, for the people who don't know who you are, who the hell is Lisa and what is the value that she adds to the world?
Who am I? Wow, okay, so I have really been in the industry for quite a long time. I'd say almost 20 years. When I look at the industry, wellness, fitness, wellness, health, sort of wellness education and inspiration, really. I've studied fitness, nutrition, life coaching, all those kinds of tools that I needed to help my clientele over the years. But pretty much in a nutshell, I try and make wellness easy, attainable, affordable, fun, and introduce people to kind of like where to start from the beginning. I see all the difficult clients, I would say, in my career, like all the ones that know that when they get to Lisa, it's going to be hard because she advocates like the holistic lifestyle, no pills, no potions, just the hard work. Like let's get the mind right, and then so it's all around health, balance, and just making sure that it's whatever you're doing is for the long term.
Could you do anything else?
Never. No, if I had to do anything else, maybe a little bit of marketing. I love marketing. I love being on screen, on camera. I love shining. I love to inspire and educate. So I love marketing, yeah. So being on screen, TV, that kind of thing, which I do and I love to do. But not really, hey? This has been my calling since I was 5 years old, and I've had my mom confirm that for me.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. And, as a fellow entrepreneur who absolutely loves what he does, we're a rarity in the world. I don't mean special. It's so wonderful to hear when someone goes, I love what I do. So give me a bit of a snapshot. Right now, we've got this logo on our screen. And do you care to just give us some context as to where you're at right now?
So the brand has gone through quite a lot, actually, in the last year. We've been growing steadily and creating a really strong online presence and an e-commerce presence over the last couple of years. But COVID really accelerated things because everybody was looking at home fitness, home wellness solutions, gym equipment, easy recipes. People were getting stuck into the kitchen again. So luckily, we were kind of ready for COVID because we were there already, like online, and we had quite a big program offering. So the LR group is actually, if I had to segregate like the two brands, because we do LR and Bounty, LR is kind of like everything that's not rebounding, and then Bounty is everything that's rebounding. We have to put a line down the middle. Okay. But we have a whole lot of solutions for those people that are wanting to embark on a wellness journey. And those solutions come in different shapes and forms depending on the individual, because we try and make wellness as individual as possible to set somebody up for success, because every one of us is so unique. You cannot follow the same thing as me and still be happy and balanced and whole. Yes. It's impossible. So over the years, we've added lots of programs and different solutions for the different demographics, because I don't believe that there's a one sort of solution fits all, like this perfect script. So we've had to add and create these beautiful products, which is I just love doing it. I love developing new products that are beautiful, efficient, affordable. They have to serve lots of purposes, so they're functional. Just to make it easy, accessible for people to change their lives.
Talk me through the quagmire that I think we're facing at the moment. In one instance, it feels like human beings are more obese, unhealthy, unfit than ever because of sedentary lifestyles. Mm-hmm. Yet, it's never been more prevalent to move in the other direction. It feels like more people in other instances are taking their health more seriously, maybe because of science, maybe because of the internet and the fact that we can share information with each other. I don't know, whatever it is, maybe because there's more products. So how do you see this polarization between the two?
Sure. Okay, so I have been in this industry for 20 years. So I was literally one of the first personal trainers in Durban, where I used to live. And then it was unusual to have a personal trainer. Now everybody goes to a private gym or has a trainer or goes to a private class or has an online coach. It's normal. Wellness has become a very normal thing. In fact, I found 20 years ago, or about 12 years ago, when I became a vegetarian, I was one of the first people, and it used to be awkward. Now there are beautiful restaurants that are dedicated to plant-based eating, and being a vegetarian or even vegan in this day and age is so easy. The whole world has changed. There has been a huge shift in wellness over the last decade, 5 years in particular, and I'd say in the last 18 months since COVID has become a major concern for everybody. And it's really shone a light on your health is your wealth. Like at the end of the day, if you've got comorbidities, if you've got any underlying issues, and then you get a virus, there's a good chance you're going to get wiped out, So I think it's been highlighted more than ever in the last 18 months. But there has been this trend I've seen over the last 20 years that wellness is cool. It never used to be. It used to be an outcast if you spent a lot of time at gym, if you had protein shakes, if you cut out meat a couple of days a week, you were a freak. And now, not at all. Now you're respected. Now, wow, she really, owns it. She looks after herself, and she spends time and energy and sacrifice on her health and her body. And people look at people like me, I know you're into wellness as well, but with admiration and respect versus how it was a decade ago where people used to roll their eyes going, oh, she's so vain, she spends her life at the gym and she watches her calories, and yes. It's just such a difference. It's very different to be alive in the wellness industry now compared to 10 years ago or 20 years ago. It has definitely morphed and become more popular and more accepted. And so, for me, it's amazing. Finally, my dreams come true.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree with you more. I think what I want to do is I want to get some knowledge and experience from you, and then I want to flip over to a bounty.
Okay.
So you must see this a lot, right? Where people are in either poor shape or average shape, but they're struggling to get their mindset right to either get into gym or eating. So I want to get two pieces of advice from you. One is to that person who's kind of sitting there on the other end, and they know they should be getting up, moving, eating better, but they're not. Why aren't they? And what is your advice to people like that to kind of get the process started?
Sure. I mean, I hear the excuses. The excuses are, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. I don't have the money or don't have the time. So those are generally the excuses. So I try and start with the low-hanging fruit, because when a client comes to me, they have lots of issues, okay? So I'm like, okay, what is going to be the easiest for this person? Is it going to be to start exercise? Because with that exercise comes the happy hormones, the serotonin levels increasing, they start feeling better about themselves, and then they slowly start changing what they're eating, because it doesn't add up to train really hard and then eat junk food. It feels like you're undoing all the good and all that sacrifice and hard work. So do I start there? Or is this client got underlying issues with exercise, they're injured, they actually hate exercise? So let's start with the nutrition side of it first. And then through that and losing some of the weight and feeling great, they naturally want to take off the layers, they want to become more active. So I try and look at the individual, to be honest, and say, right, what am I dealing with here? A lot of people are stuck. They're filling voids with food. They've got lots of past stuff that they're dealing with. They don't necessarily know where to start, have the money and all of that. So I try and get this right first. Yes. And so I have a whole thing that I do with my clients, like a readiness questionnaire that they've got to fill in. And then it's funny because it's now in COVID and there's quarantine and there's isolation, and all of that is all in my readiness questionnaire. So it's 40 questions that you've got to answer. We should actually let all of your viewers do the test just so they can see where they're at. And after these sort of questions are answered very honestly, out spits your results. Are you ready? Are you sort of not ready? Or are you go? Like what's a green or orange or red? And then you get an email with 8 things that you need to do every day in your quarantine because you have a disease. Okay, the disease is either ready, steady, or go. And then, ready, on the fence, and not ready. Those are the 3. And then you sent advice, things to do for 5 days if you are ready. I even believe that those people that are ready still need a little bit more work on the mindset side of things.
Yes.
Then those that are sort of on the fence, okay, the orange ones, they get 10 days of quarantine. And then those that are not ready get 15 days of quarantine. And there's 8 exercises, 8 different things that they've got to do for 5, 10 or 15 days to get their mind on board. Because that is, I honestly believe, like until you've made up your mind, until this has actually come to the party, it doesn't matter what you do, it will not be a success.
Yes.
And I've seen that so many times.
Imagine.
In every single thing that I've ever done, whether it's been a TV show or a wellness sort of transformation project, 30% of people go all the way to the end and they see the most amazing results. 30% get a few results, they kind of like improve a little bit, but it's not great.
Yes.
And then the other 30 fall off, literally within the first few days or a week. So it's 30% each time. And it made me realize that, the same beautiful program that took years to curate, if it's not given to somebody that is ready, it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter how amazing my advice or my program is. That client is not going to succeed.
Yeah.
So it actually is all about getting this right.
Yeah, and I can really glean from it from personal experience. When I was 11 years old, I was 90 kilograms. You have this undercover fat kid mentality that you grew up with. Lost the weight, but it was there. In my 20s, I would always train for 3-4 months, fall off the bus. And this would carry on. The last 3 years, in particular the last 18 months, in particular the last year, I don't miss. But I can see that it took a really long time for me to get my head right.
Yeah.
That it's much like training is like brushing my teeth. And also, I don't do it when I feel like it or don't feel like it. It's not a question.
It's a non-negotiable
It's
thing.
non-negotiable.
Same with me, yes.
But it's hard to, I guess, explain that to people, because when people say to me, I just don't have the time, I want to say to them, to be fair, you do have the time, it's just not a priority for you. I keep trying to learn a new language, but I keep falling over. Because the funny thing is, training is a priority for me, but learning a language, I keep saying I want it, but if I'm honest, I don't really want the language thing. I intend it, but I don't want it because I don't go for it. And so you're right, it started all in the mindset. So I guess the question that I would
that's number one. So you asked 2 things,
Yes.
okay? So the first thing is, like I look at the individual and start with the low-hanging fruit because I want them to get the most success that they possibly can very quickly.
Yes.
The other thing that I do with most of my clients is they come in through the funnel, okay? I know you've just finished a fast, so you'll appreciate this, but it's called my Eliminate program. And we strip a client naked, bare of all of their vices. So we take away wheat, dairy, sugar, caffeine, alcohol, salt, processed foods, all of that for a period of time, okay? So it's like 10 days. And they feel rotten, right? And I mean, it's a whole program. It's a whole ebook that we put people on this proper, thorough program. And for the first couple of days, some people vomit. That's how toxic they are. They are craving caffeine, sugar. Where's my stuff, my booze? I need it, I need it, I need it. And literally from a biological point of view, they need it because they are addicted. They don't even realize that these things were literally the stimulants they needed to survive in their day. So take it all away, and for those few days, they feel rotten. Then they start coming around. Day 4, 5, they start turning that corner and starting to feel a bit better. By day 10, they have never felt that way before. They literally, I say to people, nothing feels as good as feeling good feels, but so many people have never felt good. Ever. They don't even know what feeling good feels like.
Yes.
So I'm like, right, we have to shock this person because at the end of the 10 days, I need them to feel amazing so that they can believe me, right? That these foods are rubbish for them. And then we put it back in one at a time through the process of elimination. 1 day caffeine, 2 days out. 1 day wheat, 2 days out, or gluten, sugar, alcohol. And then they're journaling the whole time through this so that they can keep an accurate record of exactly how they felt. How was your digestion? How was your sleep? How was your mood? What happened to your skin? What happened to your energy? Did you get a headache? They're mindful, very conscious of how food makes them feel.
Yes.
And by the end of that 30-day process, they're different. They are never the same again.
Yes.
So I try and do that with, it's a huge commitment because you have to be ready. So first the readiness questionnaire, we try to get them mentally ready because the eliminate is quite a process.
Yes.
And then quickly I get people onto that and quickly I get them to see results.
I got goosebumps there because, as you point out, I just finished the fast. It was meant to be 72 hours. I did 68 odd hours, eventually purposefully. And this morning I was at gym and I've been writing notes about titles for future blog posts. And one that I wrote this morning but haven't published, so I'm going to send it your way tomorrow morning, is nothing feels as good feels. I literally wrote those words in my thing because it is a funny thing, right? I know what it's like to be on the other end. I love alcohol. I enjoy it in patches. And I would never say, don't enjoy drinking like I do. So I feel like two separate people. But I know that when I feel like this right now, how I'm feeling, it's like a different world. And I try to explain to people, I don't think you've ever truly felt what good feels like.
Yeah.
Because if you do, we get so used to dead average or poor being the baseline. So we think that that's normal. Tired during the day.
Coffee, sugar, some sweets, a muffin.
Yes, the energy crashes.
Yeah, oh, I need to quickly pick it up again.
Bad sleep. And you get so used to it. It's like if you go on holiday, and I used to do a lot of these, and you drink the whole holiday, it actually normalizes.
Yeah.
You get to feel like
that.
But when you
anymore,
you
you're
feel
always
like,
drunk.
But when you feel like this, how I'm feeling today, and I haven't been drinking for a few
addictive.
months, and I'm like, oh my God, I really can see it.
And you're in control.
Yes.
You're in control of the way you feel.
It's a separate video between you and me in this. I want to just flip partner, if you can give me a hand. That's my beautiful partner in the background there, Nico Stain, doing the flipping for
the brain.
me. Definitely the brain, out of Pinky and the Brain. So I want to just flip to, we spoke about LR.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Bounty.
Okay, so Bounty was born a couple of years ago. I've actually been rebounding since I was 19. There's actually a photo to prove it. Me with dark hair. Yeah, my very first client with a really entry-level rebounder, non-foldable, any of those things, but he's just shove it in the back of my car. So I have been utilizing a rebounder for many years and been utilizing one as part of like a HIIT circuit at home to get my heart rate up between strength sets. So I've been very familiar with it. But after I had Bella, I was really chunky. Like, I'm not even joking. I gained 21 kilos with her. And everyone's like, how? Where? Trust me, it was there, everywhere. And I was very uncomfortable in my skin. And we went to the farm, and I was there for a month. And Bella was little. And the doctor said, don't jog with her with a jogging stroller. Her neck is not stable. You need to find something else. And to this day, I don't know what made me pack my rebounder in my car, but I did. And I opened it up when I was at the farm, and I said, I have to lose this weight. I need to burn calories. I need to get my heart rate up. I need to just do something because I can't run. I didn't have a bike. I don't really like cycling. So it was like, okay, so I got the rebounder, and then I was like, well, what do I do? So I did washing machine, forward, back, out, in, and jogging on the spot a few times over and over, and I got hell of a bored. So I was like, right, YouTube. Now the signal there is terrible. And all I could find, this is 4.5 years ago, was the same lady, Anita Champion, doing these 5 workouts, which by the end of that holiday, I knew back to front. And these Brazilian ladies in the back of a studio going crazy to some music and saying these prompts, which I didn't understand because they were in a different language. And I was like, I can't believe it. I can't believe that there's huge businesses around the world, rebounding businesses, massive, massive ones. And yet there's no workouts. Like, how can this even be right? So I came back from the farm, felt a lot better, fitter, stronger over doing this rebounding every day for a month. And I was like, right, I'm enjoying this, but I can't believe there's such a gap. Like, I can't believe that there aren't enough workouts and content to support this amazing piece of equipment. So I started practicing, and I did courses, and I just came up with my own method. So Bounty is my own methodology, coming with, by then, 16 years of exercise science and personal training experience. And I took everything that I loved and all the small accessories that I use all the time, together with my knowledge of the body, and I put together a brand new rebounding program that was all-encompassing and that ticked every physiological box. And when it comes to putting together an exercise that's balanced, prescription, so that's like, you got to warm up, you've got to do your cardio, you've got to do your strength and toning, you've got to do your core, then you've got to do your cool down, your stretch, like that. I made sure that it encompassed all of that. And around Bounty, I have developed like tons of programs, workouts for every age group, every stage, every fitness level. And now, in the last year or so, developed my own products, my own Bounty range of rebounding products, accessories, home units, you name it. All under the rebounding umbrella, because I just love it so much. And I have since then seen thousands of clients over the last few years transform their health and their bodies through rebounding. People that couldn't run ever again, gammy knees, people with really crazy injuries, new moms, sedentary people, beginners, the elderly. A whole lot of elderly people able to rebound. Children. You won't find one child that doesn't like to bounce. Yes. So I think that's what I love about it, is that it's a very inclusive form of exercise. It's affordable. People can have it at home, fold it up, they can take it away with them. And I was just saying to somebody the other day, it's changed how we book our holidays. We used to book a holiday, and I used to find a hotel that had a gym. That was my prerequisite. Okay, like I used to look at Hilton Hotel wherever we went or whatever, because they always had a little gym. And now I don't have to do that. We can go stay at an Airbnb. We can stay at a little house somewhere that definitely doesn't have a gym, and just take my rebound and accessories with me, a couple of downloadable workouts that are my own, and on my laptop, and I can travel and anywhere, and I can take my fitness sort of training modality with me. It's changed actually so much of our family's lives.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal to watch. And I'll have these friends on either Instagram or Facebook who will then post about you, and I'll be like, check it. And I'll be like, hey guys, you're really making a great call, because I've watched the evolution of not only the brand, but the methodologies behind it, and it's unbelievable. Or someone will be talking to me and they won't know that you and I know each other, and then they'll be like, oh, I started doing this rebounding thing. I'm like, oh, with who? They're like, it's this lady named Lisa. It's unbelievable. And I just most times, to be honest, I don't even say anything. I want to hear, I really do. And it's in that where I really see how people feel and think about this, or what was your experience the first time? I don't even ask them, they just run with it. And I'm curious, and so that's really helped me see from a curiosity perspective what is
It's not just a fad or a trend or whatever. I mean, a couple of years ago when I first started, I said rebounding, and people would go, what? Yeah. You mean like from a guy, like from a relationship? Like, what do you mean rebounding? I'm like, what? No, man, I'm in the fitness industry. How can that be lit? So I was like, no, it's bouncing on a mini trampoline. And there was always this thought that it's for kids, for injured people, or OT, like occupational therapists use rebounding, but that it was definitely not taken seriously.
Yeah, and it's such a pity, because I have to tell you a quick personal story. 10 years ago, I was a little bit naughtier than now, and I was drinking too much one weekend. I took some drugs, and I messed up badly. Something happened. And I think what it did was just the combination of alcohol, the other stuff that I was doing, and then having to go to hospital because I dislocated my shoulder. They used propofol to put me under. Long story short, it's like someone went into my brain and just took all the switches that were perfectly aligned and went and I woke up for 7 or 8 weeks feeling all over the show. This is what actually prompted me to really start looking after my health. But in this process, I discovered rebounding, because one of the things that we're talking about is that motion. And please just correct me that motion is really releasing toxins. What is that?
It's acceleration and deceleration, and the cells open and close, and the lymphatic system is stimulated.
Yes, and I must say that in between clean eating and a bunch of some medication, not like healthy medication, really looking at my diet, and then rebounding along with getting in the sun and doing other training. It was unbelievable. So for the longest time, I actually saw firsthand what I would feel like. I could feel that feeling, and I really love it. So this is your close-up camera. For time, I'm going to end this here from my end, but what I want to do is I want to give you an opportunity to leave a parting thought, something that you want people to know, a point of encouragement, whatever. The floor is yours. Like, whoever's listening, what is the thing that they need to know from you?
Okay, so I think for me, you've got to figure out what works for you. I mean, wellness is very much an individual experience and journey, and each one of us is so beautifully unique. Something that we haven't spoken about today, but it's something that I'm experiencing so much with my clients. Just when I do consultations, I do DNA testing. Okay, that's something that I'm really, really focused on, is how do I make somebody's wellness journey really, really successful? Because I don't want to play the guessing game anymore. So what I would say to those people is that if you can make your wellness journey very much about you and where you're at, your goals, and your DNA, try and spend the money. It's how you are wired. We are different. And don't try and follow this blanket approach that you find in some magazine or on YouTube or whatever. You really need to take the time, the money, invest in your health. Get your DNA tested, find out what training should you be doing, what diet should you be on, what vitamins should and shouldn't you be taking. To me, that is the way of the future, is individualizing wellness, and not just comparing your body to your best friend or you to your partner. How can you actually be eating the same thing? If you're a different sex, different everything, you actually have to individualize wellness. So for me, it's invest wisely. Look at how much money you're spending experimenting. Stop experimenting. Have your DNA tested, get your report, sit down, go through it properly and say, right, what am I working with here? And let me find something that is absolutely tailor-made for my health, wellness, and goals. And you'll get there. Then you'll achieve your results. It's like, for me, it's a no-brainer. Like,
Yeah,
why
it's taking
would
the
you
guessing
keep
out of it.
guessing for the next 5 to 10 years when you could actually just figure it out in 3 weeks?
So from me to you, what I would love for us to do, because 2020, I got my training nailed. I'd never been more consistent. I believe if you can't measure something, you can't manage it.
Yep.
I recorded everything I ever did in 2020.
Yeah.
I did 409 workouts. It sounds excessive, but I included walks, any type of movement. I just wanted to see what it was.
Yeah.
So I went into this year saying, I've never been more sure that I've got training. It's not a question. But now how do I match my eating? And because you can clearly see that you can't out-train an average or a bad diet. And last year I drank an excessive amount for about 3 months in lockdown when everything got hit, and I had zero
Did
regrets.
you make pineapple beer?
No, I didn't.
Okay, good.
I don't mind telling people that we just got alcohol legally. It doesn't work out. But what I promised was, and I have no regrets for doing it. I'm glad I did it. But I said, okay, 2021 is the year where I've already got that down pat. Now I want to get this. And so I've been spending an enormous amount of money and time getting into this. I would love to do the DNA test with you. I think because telling people about it is one thing, showing them is another. So if you're up for it, I'm up for it,
Cool.
where we go through the process, document it, show people, and then we can really explain to people with first-hand experience, and it's visceral.
Yeah.
I really want to say thank you so much for coming in here today. It's amazing. You can see how time can
Right.
really kick on when
and
you're having
we actually
these.
just really were like the tip of the
I know,
iceberg.
I know, and we actually
there's
just
so much to say. Yeah.
we went on like over 6
And we
minutes.
didn't even talk about sleep, so maybe we need to talk another day about
has to be
sleep
part 2,
and
part 3.
digestion. That's like a big thing for me.
I mean, and because this is such a focus for me this year, and I think there's so much that people can benefit from. So Lise, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next month or two.
Yes.